Hello, I'm Colin, and I just wanted to show you something I found in my local Oxfam shop the other day. Here it is. It's it's obviously a musical instrument. Let's just show you the back and the neck. Goes all the way along there, and that's the top. Now it didn't have any strings on it when it was hanging up in the Oxfam shop window, but it was correctly identified as a shefteli, and that's an Albanian instrument. It's an instrument played apparently by the Geg people. That's Gheg, the Geg people of northern Albania and Kosovo. And it's amazing what you can find out on the internet, isn't it? That's a big clue there. I don't know if you can see that label, but in fact, it appears to be some sort of brand name, but it then gives you a telephone number in Tirana, which is, of course, the capital of Albania. And down here on the soundboard is what looks like a sticky label that you could peel off, but in fact, it's been lacquered over the top, so you can't. But that also has some kind of brand name on it, Persh Kef, something like that, and underneath it says Albania. So let's have a look. There's the end. It clearly takes a couple of loop end strings. It passes over a bridge which is fixed, and when I saw that I was a bit concerned that the intonation, if it wasn't any good, would I couldn't alter it. You see also it has a tiny sound hole there, and also, perhaps slightly oddly, there's another sound hole at the top there. There's the fingerboard and the frets, and again you might possibly be able to see, those of you who know about fretted instruments, that isn't a chromatic fretboard. I think it's called a diatonic one, so we'll play it in a minute. As you can see, it passes over a metal nut, and we've got at the top two winders that are in fact friction winders. They're made of wood that has been, I don't know if you can see it, but you can actually see where somebody has shaved them with a penknife or some sort of knife to make them fit in the hole. Not easy to tune with friction pegs. If you've used a violin or something, you try to tune a violin, it's a bit awkward, and they do have a habit of popping out. Having checked online, I found that the standard tuning recommended was top two strings of a guitar, so that's an E and a B, and so I looked. I'd had a set of banjo strings. Unfortunately, I got a 0.10 or 10, and I'd also got a 0.16 or a 16, as it's called, millimetre thickness, as they're tended to be called. So I fitted those, and in fact, I broke the first E I put on because of that friction peg. It kept popping out, and I had difficulty anchoring the string, but I then realised the string actually passes under this little metal bar here. That one should have done perhaps, but it's securely tightened now, so I've left it at that. And the way of playing it is apparently to just play on the top string. The shefteli, by the way, means apparently two strings, and there are quite a few of these instruments in that Balkan area, or that part of the world. I think there's another one called might be called a saz in Turkey. Anyway, the way of playing it is to play with a plectrum on the top string, the E, play your tunes on that, and just use the B as a drone. Really, there are basic chords you can get, two-note chords, or suggest them. It's not really a chord, is it? Anyway, let's play the scale. as you can hear, that's not a bad intonation. A good test is the octave. That's not bad, is it? Not bad at all. But I think you might have noticed it's, as I said, it's not a chromatic instrument. It basically plays the notes of a scale, and you'll recognise the notes of a scale, except that that's a minor scale, isn't it? And in fact, that sounds not quite flat enough, or too flat, and that one too. That one rather. It's obviously a folk instrument. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So let's try and do something with it. You can go online, of course, and see some fabulous players, and they play extremely quickly, often up the top here. Something like that. Do you know what it is yet? Was very nearly Nottingham Town, which you might also recognise as the tune Bob Dylan used for Masters of War. So it's a limited instrument. I can't play it as you should play it, or play any Albanian tunes on it, but it's similar in the way it's fretted to a dulcimer. So you can play an older modal tune from the folk tradition, and that was the one that sort of came to mind. There will be others, like a blacksmith courted me and things like that. Anyway, so there we are. That is the Sheftali. It cost me the princely sum of £10 at the local Oxfam Books and Music shop, plus the cost of 3 strings, because I broke one of them. It's got 2 on it, and I've asked one of my neighbours if she can put together a kind of drawstring cloth bag to at least stop it from getting dusty. Anyway, there we are, and there was the Sheftali.